Hey guys, it's Chris from Fairly Awesome Podcast with your Fairly Awesome WTF movie review.
Oh, what the f***? Is this for real?
This week's movie is Iron Sky Director's Cut. Iron Sky is a 2012 quasi-crowd-funded film about Nazis on the moon with some ridiculously impressive CGI, and in this case, 20 minutes of additional footage. I'm not sure that really helps all that much at all. The year is 2018, and in an attempt to help her flagging re-election chances, the President of the United States, who bears a striking resemblance to Sarah Palin, commissions a mission to the moon involving two astronauts, one of which is an African-American male model with the tagline, "Black to the moon? Yes, she can." On the dark side of the moon, the two astronauts discover a secret Nazi moon base. The model/astronaut, named James Washington, is taken by the Nazis back to their base for interrogation. Nazi mad scientist Dr. Richter finds Washington's smartphone and determines that the device can be used to power the Nazis' giant spacecraft, the WTF. Unfortunately, the battery on the smartphone dies, but the brief flight proves the ship is ready. After some conversing, Commander Klaus Adler, who secretly aspires to be the next Fuhrer, is approved to lead a mission to Earth to retrieve more powerful smartphone devices that will allow the WTF to be used to conquer Earth for the Nazis. In the meantime, Washington is transformed from an African American to a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan to work for the Nazis. Landing on Earth, Klaus finds his love and, luckily, genetically superior mate, Renata, has stowed away. Renata, as an Earthologist, teaches the Nazi children all about Earth, and now seeks to study Earth firsthand. In an effort to reach the President, Klaus, with Renata and Washington in tow, kidnaps Vivian Wagner, Washington's boss at the modeling agency and the President's assistant. Vivian ends up using both Klaus and Renata in a Nazi-style propaganda campaign for the President's re-election. When the current Fuhrer comes to Earth to check on Adler's progress, he is ultimately killed, and Adler, assuming the title of Fuhrer, takes Vivian's tablet with him back to the Nazi base for use in the WTF. Renata, who has met up with the now homeless Washington, learns of the Nazis' true agenda, and they both return to the Nazi base to stop Adler. Meanwhile, the Nazi forces begin its invasion of Earth. The President unveils the USS George W. Bush, a Mars exploration shuttle with nuclear and laser weapons, to members of the UN. Vivian is placed in command of the ship and begins eliminating Nazi spaceships. When the USS George W. Bush ends up outnumbered, the other UN countries show up with their own weaponized spacecraft to help. The International Space Fleet then proceed to attack the Nazi moon base and encounter the WTF. Is the Earth doomed? Can the Nazi invasion be stopped? Can't we all just get along? Yes, yes, and no. The end. Iron Sky isn't the first Nazi in space story, nor will it probably be the last. It takes a satirical look at the way political propaganda is used to indoctrinate voters, and how our penchant for war leads to the militarization of everything, from the initial mission to the moon to look for helium-3 that would give the U.S. energy independence from the rest of the world, to the Mars exploration ship with nukes and lasers because, as the President points out to the Russian UN delegate, Mars is a red planet. The movie has a number of good points. The pure CGI shots are quite impressive. The ships and space battles are well done. There is a smattering of humorous moments, though a few of them may depend on your preferred political affiliation. The brief recreation of the final scene from Downfall, which you probably know better as the Hitler reacts to X meme, is an amusing wink at the audience. The main characters of naive Renata, cunning Klaus, and whitewashed Washington are endearing enough that they can carry the movie even through some of the slower points. Unfortunately, the film in general is just kind of mediocre. It's not a great film, but I don't know that it falls into the category of films that are so bad they're good. A good chunk of the movie is filmed in front of green screen, and it kind of shows. There's not much in the way of explanation as to how the Nazis escaped Earth and set up shop on the moon, although there is a companion 3-issue comic book set that tells that story if you're interested. Some of the jokes just aren't that funny, like the albanizer and de-albanizer that transform Washington from African American to Aryan and back. And while the director's cut adds 20 minutes of additional footage, most of the footage appears to have been cut for a pretty good reason. So should you watch Iron Sky, either regular or director's cut? If you're easily offended by right-targeted political satire, or you're a big fan of Sarah Palin, this movie's probably not right for you. If you're bothered by scientific inaccuracies such as things being on fire in space, you might want to give this one a pass as well. However, if you don't fall into either of those categories, like schlocky sci-fi and have an hour and a half to kill or so, sure, why not? But really, if you're looking for a good Nazi movie with lots of subtitles, you might be better off with Dead Snow. Who doesn't love Nazi zombies? And how can you go wrong with a movie where the token fat guy gets to hook up with a hot chick? Before he's torn apart by zombies, of course. So there you have Iron Sky. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube for our video updates. Leave any comments or suggestions for movies you'd like to see reviewed down below. Follow us on Twitter at Fabcast, like us on Facebook, and unless shitty movies are forced to hide out on the dark side of the moon for the next 70 years, we'll see you next time.